Uncertainties grow in the Middle East region after Iran launched hundreds of drones and missiles from its territory toward Israel over a 5-hour period. Israel said it's considering all options to protect its own people, while Iran warned of even stronger attacks if retaliatory measures from Israel or the U.S. follows. Kim Bo-kyoung starts us off.
It was an unprecedented attack, marking the first-ever direct overt attack launched at Israel from Iranian territory. Hundreds of drones, cruise, and ballistic missiles were launched at Israel by Iran on Saturday night, 12 days after an Israeli strike on the Iranian embassy complex in Syria. 99% of projectiles fired by Iran were reportedly intercepted by Israel and its partners, with U.S. President Joe Biden, during a call with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, describing the situation as a win, which demonstrated Israel's superior military capability. Biden also reportedly told his counterpart in Tel Aviv that the U.S. will not participate in any offensive action against Iran, though Washington's ironclad commitment to Israel's security against Iranian threats remains. With Washington seeking to contain the risk of a wider war in the Middle East region, a New York Times report said Biden had convinced Netanyahu not to greenlight an immediate retaliatory strike. However, White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said what happens next is up to Israel to decide.
It's going to be up to the Israelis to decide what the next step is here. I will just say this. President Biden, since the beginning of this conflict, has worked very hard to keep this from becoming a broader regional war.
Israeli President Isaac Herzog hinted that though Tel Aviv is not seeking war, there will be a decision that will make sure Israel protects and defends the country's people. That remark came amid reports that Israel is pondering over the scope and timing of a response, as well as a report in the Wall Street Journal that said the U.S. expects Israel to respond as early as April 15th. Iran's Armed Forces Chief of Staff warned that should Israel attack, the response would be decisively stronger and more resolute, and any backing from Washington would result in U.S. bases being targeted as well. Meanwhile, after Iran's attack, G7 leaders convened and unanimously condemned Iran's attack and called for restraint from all sides to prevent a regional war. A UN emergency session was also held upon a request from Israel, where UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for a de-escalation of violence and maximum restraint.
It's vital to avoid any action that could lead to major military confrontations on multiple fronts in the Middle East.
EU foreign ministers are also expected to hold a meeting on Tuesday to discuss the issue. Kim Bo-kyoung, Arirang News.